There is a number where your money starts earning more than you save. Most people never find out where it is. So let us map it. 7 levels, 0 to a million. What actually changes at each one? Not how it feels, what the arithmetic does. Those are different. One rule for the whole video, $500 a month. 7% a year, which is ordinary. Nothing clever. Level 1 is $1,000, you get there in 2 months. It earns $6 a month. 6, do not get excited. Financially, this level is a rounding error. Genuinely nothing. But it is the only level that fixes the most common emergency. The one where a small, unexpected bill becomes debt. $1,000 stops that, it does nothing else. Which is still more than most people ever build. Level 2 is 10,017 more months of the same. It earns $58 a month, 34 cents an hour. That is a takeaway after 19 months of saving. So on paper, nothing has happened. On paper. But ask anyone who has crossed it and they say the same thing. This is the level where the fear goes quiet. The boiler, the tire, the tooth before 10,000, those are crises. After it, they are annoying. Just annoying. That is enormous. And there is a second thing that matters more than the money. You now have proof you are someone who can do this. Most people never get that proof. They assume it is not for them. Level 3 is 50,000. And here the video gets honest. This one takes 5 more years, 61 months of nothing happening. It earns $292 a month at the end of it. 5 years of saving to earn what a part-time shift pays. This is where almost everybody quits. Not at the start. The start is exciting. Year 4 of the middle is not. Nothing visible happens for years, no milestone, no reward. And the whole time, the interesting part is still ahead of you. So here's the only thing that gets people through it. Stop looking at the balance. Look at the monthly earnings instead. $6.58, 292. That number only ever goes up. It never has a bad year. Level 4 is 100,000. This is the real border. 4.5 more years, so about 11 years in total. Charlie Munger called the first 100,000 the brutal part. He was not being poetic. Watch what happens next. At 100,000, your money earns $583 a month. You're putting in 500, it just overtook you. That is the crossover. You're no longer the main engine. $19 a day arrives whether you work or not. And the clock changes speed here, which nobody warns you about. The first 100,000 took 11 years of your life. The second 100,000 takes about 6. Same money, same market, half the weight. That is the whole trick. Level 5 is $250,000. 8.5 more years. You're about 20 years in now. It earns $1,458 a month. $48 a day arriving on weekends. Arriving while you sleep. This is the level where the math stops being theoretical. It now covers a real bill, a car, a mortgage payment somewhere. And something odd happens to how you make decisions. A bad month at work stops being frightening. You are no longer negotiating from a position of need. Nobody can see it, but you argue differently in that room. Level 6 is $500,000. 8 more years, and the earnings are now genuinely silly. $2,900 a month, $96 a day. That is rent in most of the world, paid by arithmetic alone. And here the thing everyone gets wrong becomes visible. You did not put $500,000 in, nowhere near it. By year 30, you contributed $180,000. The other $430,000 was growth. 70% of your money was never yours to begin with. It was time, doing the part you could not do yourself. Level 7, $1 million. 9 more years. Call it 40 years from the very first month. It earns $5,800 a month, doing nothing at all. $33 an hour, 24 hours a day, forever. Your money now earns more per hour than most jobs pay. And it never sleeps, never resigns, and never asks for a raise. You put in $240,000 across 40 years. You ended with $1.3 million. 82% was growth. Now, let me show you the part that changes how you think about time. Split those 40 years into 4 decades. Watch what each one adds. The first decade adds $86,000. The second decade adds $174,000. The third adds $349,000. And the fourth decade adds $702,000. The last 10 years add more than the first 30 combined. Same $500 a month the whole way. Nothing changed. Which means the most valuable year of this plan is the last one. And the only way to reach it is to have started far earlier. That is why quitting in the boring middle costs so much. Quitting does not cost you the years you skipped, it costs the last ones. Now the objections, because you're already having them. $1,500 a month is not realistic for everyone. Correct, it is not. So halve every number in this video. The levels do not move. Only the time between them does. 2, 7% is not guaranteed, also correct. 7 is an average, some decades pay more, some almost nothing. And the order those decades arrive in is out of your hands. Which is exactly why the 2 things you control matter so much. How early you start, and whether you stop. 3, inflation. Yes, 1,000,000 in 40 years buys less. But the alternative is cash, which loses to inflation guaranteed. Losing slowly beats losing, certainly. That is the whole argument. So here's the map from the top, in one breath. 1,000 stops small emergencies becoming debt. 10,000 takes the fear out of ordinary life. 50,000 is the grind where nearly everyone quits. 100,000 is where your money overtakes your saving. 250,000 changes how you behave at work. 500,000 pays somebody's rent, and it happens to be yours. And 1,000,000 earns more per hour than most people do. Nobody around you will see a single one of these happen. There is no car, no watch, no announcement, just a number moving. Which is exactly why so few people ever aim at them. The levels are quiet, that has never made them small. And the first one is 2 months away, starting from nothing. There is a new one of these every week. Subscribe, and I will keep counting. Let me make that crossover concrete, because it sounds abstract. 2 people, both 40, both have 100,000 saved. The first one stops adding anything, never saves another dollar. By 65, that 100,000 has become 570,000. He did nothing for 25 years. Nothing at all. The second one keeps going. Same 500 a month. She finishes with just under 1,000,000. 25 more years of saving bought her 400,000 extra. The 100,000 she already had bought 470. That is what the crossover means. The early money does more. Not because it is special, because it has been there longer. So if the maths is this clear, why does almost nobody finish? 3 reasons, and none of them is arithmetic. First, the payoff is invisible for about a decade. Humans are very bad at rewards they cannot see coming. Second, the amounts feel insulting at the start. $6 a month does not feel like the beginning of anything. And third, every year something arrives that feels more urgent. Because it is more urgent, that is the honest part. The plan does not fail because people are stupid about money. It fails because it asks for patience nobody is rewarded for. Which is why automation matters more than motivation here. Set it to leave on payday and let the boring decade happen.